Did the Patriots make a huge mistake by drafting and signing Aaron Hernandez?
Signed him 5 years, $40 million commitment, Stephen A. I'm going to say they did not make a huge mistake. I'm going to say in their shoes, I would have taken the same gamble on Aaron Hernandez, Stephen A. And as you know, I've been a Patriots supporter on this show. But for all the talk about the Patriot way and the first-class New England Patriot organization, the exemplary organization in pro football, blah, 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 I want you to know that if you look hard enough, the Patriots have been the Raiders East for the last 6 or 8 years because Bill Belichick has taken risk after risk after risk on players with, let me say, character or baggage issues. Corey Dillon, Randy Moss, Albert Hainsworth, Chad Ochocinco, Aqib Talib. I could go on and on. So they were able to steal an Aaron Hernandez in the 4th round, a player with first-round talent, because he did flunk a drug test before that draft. Did the Patriots, through their security and their reconnaissance, did they know of his gang affiliation in high school here in Bristol, Connecticut? I'm pretty sure that they did. Did they work through an Urban Meyer, a coach that Belichick is very close to when Urban was the head coach at Florida? I'm sure they did. I think they knew that there was high risk here. But then what happened? Aaron Hernandez was exemplary for a long, long time as a Patriot. I'm talking about in the football context. Aaron Hernandez showed up on time. He failed, according to the Boston Globe, quoting the Patriots, no drug tests, failed no drug tests. He worked hard. He played hard. He played very well. And he was a great teammate by all accounts. So after that, after he'd proven that much, I would have taken the plunge and given him his 5-year contract. To me, this is the classic case, and I'm going to take a plunge here myself. This is what I call a sociopath. Yeah. This is a man who is soulless. This is the classic case of the serial killer that lived down the block, and all the neighbors say, he seemed like such a nice guy. Because I think the Patriots had no idea this was going on behind the scenes. Should their security people have kept closer tabs? Should they have smelled trouble? Maybe. But I think that Aaron Hernandez got away with crime after crime after crime. And I'm leaping to that assumption because the Patriots leaped to that assumption right out of the box. They cut him immediately because they heard all the mountain of circumstantial evidence against Aaron Hernandez. So I'm leaping to the conclusion he's just a bad guy. Just, again, soulless is the best description, sociopath, and cannot be trusted, and was probably involved in other shootings, and this will start to come out as it goes to trial. So to me, I would have been duped by this. I would have closed my eyes in the gladiator sport of football and plunged with a 5-year commitment because football-wise, he had been nothing but exemplary. The floor is yours.
There's a lot to go with here. Let me be very clear. Number one, when we talk about Aaron Hernandez, let's be clear about something. I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that he's guilty. Do I believe he is? Yeah, I do. But I want to be very, very careful because, you know, we pride ourselves, at least from a legal perspective, innocence until proven guilty. And sometimes we need to exercise that in the court of public opinion, despite the preponderance of evidence. There's been plenty of people who have been accused of things and have gotten off, or have been found to not be guilty of what they were accused of. So let's be mindful of that. With that being said, however, I'm going to somewhat disagree with you. I have no problem with the Patriots signing Aaron Hernandez. What I have a problem with is the contract they gave him. 5 years, $41 million, $12.5 million guaranteed, to the point where even though this boy is in jail, he can still collect about an additional $2.5 million, even though I've been told, go ahead and bet your money on that if you want to. Robert Kraft will sit there and look him in the face and say, sue me, you ain't getting a dime. All right, but the point is, to find yourself in that kind of position, to give this man a contract, knowing this is the NFL we're talking about, knowing the bevy of issues that the NFL has been tackling throughout the years, knowing that the NFL, being the brand that it is, having the collective bargaining agreement that it has in place, you could have gotten him for less of a commitment. You didn't have to give him 5 years.
A lot of people thought they stole him.
Well, what I'm saying to you is
they got him cheap.
What I'm saying to you is there could have been behavioral issues incorporated into the contract to sort of give you some sort of a cushion.
Yeah, sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you walking around, and listen, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on in the show, but how you present yourself is just as important sometimes as how you conduct yourself. You look at Aaron Hernandez with all of those tats and some of the things those tats said. You know, that's a problem. That's usually a red flag. Sorry, America. Swear it is. It's number one. Number two, not just how you present yourself, but from what I understand, he wasn't always the model teammate. I recall somebody talking about an incident in the locker room when Wes Welker was just joking around with him, and he had to, and Aaron Hernandez had to be restrained from going after him when he was a rookie or something like that because Wes Welker, he didn't appreciate it. And some of the stuff that was coming out of his mouth and the temper tantrums that he was having, it was a problem. I recall, I forgot the name, but it was somebody that was on a member of the New England Patriots offensive line saying he didn't like Hernandez too much, didn't like what he represented.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from a
now you're back to tattoos. Yeah.
I'm talking about in terms of how he conducted himself as a member of the team.
Right.
They didn't vibe with how he conducted himself.
Right.
All I'm simply saying is that we may not have read about it in the Boston Globe, the Boston Herald, or ESPN Boston, or whatever the case may be, but that doesn't mean that this dude was as flawless as we're trying to paint him out to be, which brings us to the New England Patriots. Yes, you have taken chances. Yes, you are a renegade. And no, the New England Patriots do not deserve to be flogged and insulted and all of this other stuff because how are you supposed to see, to use your words, a sociopath? Yeah. I'm not sure. But there's a guy by the name of Christopher Gasper who wrote a column in a Boston Globe. And one of the things he says here is, I think, is very profound. He says that the Patriots are guilty of anything. It was letting Hernandez use the misguided belief that their building and their uniforms somehow build character or instill it where it doesn't exist against them. I think that's a very profound statement.
Yeah.
Because with Bill Belichick, who hadn't won championships as a head coach as of yet, had done this, if he wasn't the championship coach, if he wasn't deified as one of the greatest to ever bless the sport, there's a level of cachet that buys you. It buys you a Randy Moss. It buys you a bevy of other dudes, not to compare them to Aaron Hernandez. I mean, no intentions in drawing that comparison. I'm simply saying, if you are Bill Belichick and you are the New England Patriots, you roll the dice from time to time because America has given you the impression that you can get away with it. Does that make them at fault in any way in regards to what Aaron Hernandez has allegedly done? Absolutely not. But it doesn't absolve them from failing to do their due diligence and their homework to find out who these guys are. Skip, me and you, we work for ESPN. We roll up, somebody roll up in here on the show with us. We looking them up and down. We're scoping them. We're paying attention. How you walk, how you talk, how you speak, how you act, who you keep company with, all of this other stuff. And that's just for a damn interview. If I'm investing millions upon millions of dollars in you, trust me, I'm going to do background check. And my last point is this. I've covered the NBA close to 20 years. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't know if they would want me to. But there's a whole bunch of people associated with security in the NBA that I have known for many years. I admire and respect these individuals. They are former FBI agents, they're former DEA agents, they're local PDs, they're private detectives. They are the elite of the elite. They know what they're doing. I'm talking about NFL, NBA, all this stuff. I know some of these guys, okay? If you care enough, man, you can find out what color underwear these boys are wearing on a daily basis if you want to. If you cared enough. So definitely, there was some due diligence that was not performed because the hints are there. All you got to do is pay attention.